Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace a distributor on a 1996 to 2005 Mitsubishi Magna Verada Diamante with the 6G74 3.5 litre V6 engine. There's nothing functionally wrong with this distributor. The reason I'm going ahead and replacing it today is due to a crack that has formed through the center of the main unit, and the seal that sits between the main unit and the distributor cap has deteriorated and it's falling apart. But symptoms of a bad distributor usually show up as the car cranking but not starting and running. So it'll just keep cranking over, but you can't start it. And I know there's other causes of that particular symptom, such as fouled plugs, bad ignition leads, even a MAF sensor failure. But if you are experiencing that with your car, I'll probably take a look at the distributor first. Parts and tools for the job. Obviously, we need a new distributor that I purchased on eBay for $306. I'll put the details into the description. Socket set, spanner set, Phillips head screwdriver, and a light. The first step is to remove the entire air intake. You can just use a 10mm socket to remove the two clamps. So one here, there's two inside the airbox, and then also unplug the MAF sensor. Okay, after removing the ignition leads, we need to unplug the distributor and then we can remove the unit. To unplug the distributor, there's a plug at the 10 o'clock position. Just push down on the clip, move that out the way. And then to remove the distributor, there are two nuts at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position. Should be good to remove it now, so I'll just carefully get it off the car. There we go. So here's the old distributor, and you can see here the crack that runs pretty much the entire diameter of the unit. The seal just broke away, so I've just binned that. So now we'll install a new one. Just quickly before we install the new distributor, which I have here, you can see this drive shaft, I guess they call it. This needs to insert into the engine, but it only inserts one way. So if you can't line this up, so you can attempt to push the distributor into the engine block, and you may actually get it perfectly aligned. But if you can't, what I suggest you do is remove the distributor cap and just rotate the rotor button until it aligns. So what you can do is, you've got the rotor button here. I'm just looking at the old one here, and you can see it turns. So it only inserts one way. But that's just an easy way to line it up if you're having trouble. So I'll just show you now on the engine what I mean in terms of how it slots in. So you can see there's two cutouts. So the drive shaft needs to slot into the cutouts, but it only goes in one way. So we'll give that a go now. So as I mentioned before, you can try and position the drive shaft to align with the engine, and attempt to have it seat correctly, but for me it's just easier to remove the distributor cap and just rotate the rotor button until you get it. There we go. I think she's on. Just make sure it's sitting flush with the engine. Do not try and bolt it up if it's not flush, so just make sure you check the gaps. But that is looking pretty good. Before I bolt on the distributor, I'll just reinstall the distributor cap, which only goes on one way and is secured with 3 Phillips head screws. Left one is always tricky, so I suggest coming up, like having a finger kind of at the base, at the bottom here, so that you don't drop the nut and you can kind of thread it on. I think we've got that one now, so I'll just tighten it up by hand or by finger, and then I'll use a spanner to finish that off. And now for the other one. Plug it back in. We're up to reinstalling the ignition leads. The easiest way that I find, apart from numbering them of course, is just to gently pull on them just to see from which spark plug it originates. The distributor cap is numbered, so you can't really go wrong there. If you have a dress panel across the front bank, recommend removing that just so that you can see the actual lead being moved as you're pulling on it, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do it this way. So we'll do the rear bank first, followed by the front, just to recap the firing order. Rear bank left to right, standing in front of the car, looking at the car. 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. So that one is 3. Which is up top here. Okay, so we've done 1, 3, and 5 onto the front. It's helpful also just to remove them from their guides. There's like these guides that kind of secure them in place. So if you're going to use this method, you'll need to remove them from the guides so they actually move. So start with 2. And obviously, given that they're different lengths, that also helps. So, helps you identify which one's which. So that is 2, and that goes on the far side. This is 4, which goes top left, and then that leaves 6 at the bottom. Just reset them into the guides, and then we're done with the ignition leads. right, let's start her up. She runs, so job done. I'll leave it there. Any comments or questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching. Cheers.